This should be good.
Tel Aviv. They do it.
I'm mixed about.
I want to know what the common street American thinks about going to war on behalf of Israel. Israel. By the way, that's how we get away. Hello, listener. If we want to talk about Israel on Ortho Thugs, we have to say Oisrael. Ois. Okay? Oisrael.
Israel.
Noiga. Oisrael. Holocaust. Holocaust. Noitzi. Noitzes.
The government, I am Jewish.
Today we're asking Americans if the United States should go to war with Iran after Israel launched missiles at Iran. Iran retaliated and launched missiles back at Israel, and now they're at war, and the United States is now deciding what they should do. So today we're going to be asking a very important question to Americans to see what they think the United States should do. Should we enter into this war or not? Here we go, and let's go talk to people here on the streets. What should the United States do, and should we enter into this war?
I don't know if we want to full-on enter into war, but I think we have to have a position.
I call it isn't real. Also, what does Jordan Peterson think about war with Iran?
Look, everyone knows I'm under contract with Ben Shapiro and the state of Israel. I'd say don't mess with the Holy Land. It's like I recently saw a clip with Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson. He said something like, well, clearly Israel's referring to the modern geopolitical state and location. It's like, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Did you watch the Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson interview?
Yes.
I got second-hand embarrassment watching Ted get cornered, especially with the Bible comment.
Oh, man, that was brutal. The Bible comment, and he was like, where? Where in the Bible? Where does it say that? Well, yeah, I mean, you said it's in the Bible, and you're a politician, and you're advocating for war. Seems only fair I ask you, where is it in the Bible? Ted Cruz, what a maggot. He just got completely outed. And the statement about what Israel is biblically, it's so revealing that all American politics is fully Zio and fully dispensational, basically. And the dude from Steven Crowder, I forgot his name, Gerald, he just asked, why is dispensationalism wrong? And so I highly recommend you guys go and tag and say, listen, instead of asking on X, have Jay go on your show. Okay, he has enough followers. He's a big enough name. If you really want to know about dispensationalism, at least have someone on. Otherwise, it's just going to get lost in the comments. I feel like that's kind of like a weak move where it's like, what's wrong with this massive topic that influences modern evangelical heterodoxy and modern politics, domestic and foreign, and not have it like front and center?
You know, as a world kind of coming together, but I think step cautiously. I think that's a war that's been going on over there for a long time. A lot of religion things and stuff that go further back than where we're at now. But I do feel like we have the right person in the right place to try to make some logic of the situations over there.
Do you think if we do get into this war, it could cause a World War III?
I would hope not. No, I think we've got enough things in position.
What? What is he saying?
With some of the bigger powers that I think there's enough control now. And I do feel like that other countries, finally, we've got their respect back with who we got sitting in there, regardless of a personality thing that people may have with Trump. I do feel like he is a very fit leader, and I do feel like someone that does have control, and the guy's the best negotiator there is. So that's a plus.
I think I'm the best negotiationer. I think I'm the best
Watch All Thugs with Kingpool last night. We died laughing knowing the pain of Ob's monitor on Stash Off. Love you, Tony and the show. Many years.
Yes, thank you. It was an excellent it's going to be an excellent show. It is an excellent show. There's just something special about it, and you can't put your noise on it. This guy literally just said nothing.
That's what we're trying to do.
He's like, I want to wrestle men. I just want to put someone in an arm bar. Rear naked choke. You know, that's how I see Trump. You know, I look at Trump and what he's doing. I just think that I just want to wrestle. I just want to roll around on the mat with somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Nick Shirley? You want to wrestle today?
Always have to drop in for a laugh and like.
Thank you, Vatican III. Vatican III.
Let's talk this out first before we go kill a bunch of people.
Right now, Donald Trump is contemplating whether or not the United States should enter into the Israel-Iran conflict. What do you think the United States should do?
I think whatever Donald Trump says we should do the opposite.
Do you trust Donald Trump's judgment in this time?
Not at all.
Would you support the United States getting into the war with Iran?
No, not a chance.
What do you think should happen?
Precision strikes, just precision strikes, get rid of any ability for them to have a nuclear weapon, but no boots on the ground, never again.
Should the people that voted for Trump be worried now with what's happening?
I think we should always be worried about what might happen over in the Middle East, which is why we have to keep countries like Iran, Axis of Eagle, North Korea, Russia in check.
Say Axis of Eagle?
And countries like Iran, you can't allow them to obtain.
See, this is why I'm like, the whole thing has been like women shouldn't vote, and I've just moved over to nobody should vote, including myself. So just so you know where I stand on that one.
Any sort of a high-enriched uranium to make a weapon. If they want to have nuclear energy.
That's this lady with the pusher. Are we kidding me? We're missing out here.
That's another thing.
That's the lady.
But highly enriched uranium isn't meant for nuclear energy. That's only meant for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to make a bomb.
Israel launched some missiles at Iran, took out some of their leaders, and then Iran just launched and landed in Tel Aviv. Where does this war go?
Yeah, I mean, the effort obviously by Israel was to disable the nuclear program of Iran. Iran, who is the #1 funder of terrorism throughout the world, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of.
I have that set at home. The jump D through the hoopy. Love it. It's one of the best. It's like when I'm feeling like maybe my nation or my state, even my county is in danger, we bring these out. We transform the kids' swing set, and Megan and I both take turns jumping through the hoops. And so we're feeling safe.
Them being funded by Iran in this proxy war where Iran is spending, a few $1 million to get the success of like what we saw on October 7th. They have to be held and accountable for what they've done. The worst thing that we could possibly do, the #1 terrorist supporter on the planet, is allow them to have nuclear weapons. For nuclear weapons to kind of be in place, there's 4 key components. You have to have the ingredients to make it.
I'm trying to think like beyond like a comic book view of like bad guy, because we have a comic view of who the bad guy is as far as like nations, and then we're the bad guy for so many other nations, and they have a comic book coming out, and it's like a comic off, and I'm still wondering though, like when you drop a nuke on a country you don't like, aside from being like ha ha ha,
I just saw a 70-year-old dude texting and hitting a big old vape while driving. Are we cooked?
Yeah. I wonder what his take is on this. But when you drop, let's just suppose there's such a thing as a bomb that does the thing that we've seen in movies and cartoons. I just don't understand what is next. What, you eliminate your enemy from the board, and then it's just what? Like, what happens?
Dude, that's Tim Kennedy. He's famous for stealing a ton of valor and war stories, lol.
It is? The guy who just talked? How did you know him? How did you know that?
You have to have the facilities to cook it. You have to have the cooks themselves, and you have to have the ingredients.
They're talking about meth. They're not talking... This whole thing, nukes? Nuke is a euphemism for meth.
Israel attacked all four of those elements, those four cornerstones of the nuclear program. They specifically targeted personnel. They were targeting facilities where they could do it, research centers that were part of it, and housing equipment. And
still 2025, and the people pronounce it nuclear as nuclear. I know. I mess it up too.
It was necessary for Israel's existence. They said, we have to do this. If we don't, Iran is going to...
Who is that guy, Tim? Is he a preacher also? He seems like a stage pastor, honestly.
Be supplying nuclear weapons to people that don't want us to exist. That's a pretty scary place for a country to be.
Mm-hmm. So it was necessary for Israel to take action?
I mean, I'm not Israeli, and I'm not in it. I'm pro-America, and if I were in their shoes, and I am in a position where my adversary is about to have the equipment that can completely destroy me and everything that I love.
Okay. What if they're not your adversary anymore? You know what I mean? It's like, who decides this? What if Japan was suddenly like, we hate America? Would we just like go after any of their development, like their military development? Like what if Japan just tweeted like, you know, death to America or something? Would we go in and like throw their tables over and all their sushi stands and look under the floorboards for dangerous missiles? I don't know.
I have to prevent them from getting that. I understand that. We as Americans, we since the Cold War, we've been at this thing with Russia, where it's, hey, are you going to shoot nukes? Are we going to shoot nukes? The thing with Iran.
Are we going to go to the moon? Are you going to go to the moon? I'll go to the moon if you go to the moon. Are you going to try to go to the moon? I'll go to the moon. I'm going to the moon. Why didn't that come through? What's going on? I don't like that. Why not super chat come through, yo? What the hell, dog? David Attenborough, did you die? You're supposed to read the chat. Base Biker says for $5. Famous Green Beret who faked a bunch of war stories and claimed he was... Oh, this is the faker, dude. How did he find him on a roof? Why isn't his name in Chiron? Does Nick Shirley know who it is?
Is that they would shoot nukes.
No idea.
They would do it. They would absolutely drop a nuclear weapon on top of Tel Aviv. They'd do it.
Do you guys think the United States should enter into the war with Iran, and would you guys be willing to serve the United States military in this war?
I ain't gonna lie, that's not my fight.
I think we should stay up out of that one.
To be real, you stay up out of that.
I'm trying to just start my summer league, you know? I ain't trying to get in that. I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that, dog.
This strike against isn't real is seeming more and more like the 6 bagels that got burned in the ovens we couldn't find.
Yeah. I'm trying to dunk this summer. I ain't know about that. I'm still trying to dunk. Y'all heard?
Fight our own wars, if we have any.
And when Trump was running to become president for the second time, he said the wars like Russia-Ukraine would have not happened. But now this war between Iran and Israel is starting. Do you think we should trust Donald Trump in this time?
I think it's bigger than Donald Trump right now.
Me, I think it is bigger than him. Because
he did say he didn't want to do no wars when he got elected, but I feel like he ain't got no control over what's going on right now.
Do you think we should trust Netanyahu?
Nah, I mean, he's a dangerous man.
That's a dangerous man.
Yeah, he's a dangerous man out there, man. I don't know.
You're a veteran. You've served for our country. Should the United States...
What the hell is this guy up to? What, is he dressed like a newspaper? What is happening? He's gonna have the best
Thanks to
answer.
the Simpsons, nuclear ULA was added to the dictionary.
That's right, Simpsons. Go Simpsons.
enter into war with Iran?
How am I supposed to know? I'm a newspaper. Why are you asking someone dressed like a newspaper?
Well, when you put it like that, it's cut and dry, and the situation is many. It's not so cut and dry. And I don't particularly love Trump for all his things.
Nuanced Grandpa in the house. Shout out to Nuanced Grandpa. You can follow Nuanced Grandpa at nuancedgrandpa.com. YouTube, Nuanced Grandpa. Instagram and Twitter, X, Nuanced Grandpa.
But when he's defending the Constitution peacefully...
Would you debate Dr. Alpha? I don't know who that is. Is he a health nut?
We have to take precautions. The idea that Iran
Man, I want chicken.
May even have this first nuclear weapon.
Jimbob, do you think the bagel toasters are as real as the moon landing?
Well, mathematically, it doesn't make any sense.
Did you watch Digital Gnosis vs. Andrew debate?
Yeah.
Also, are you planning on joining the open panel portion for Andrew's Mormon debate later tonight?
I did review the debate with Digital Gnosis and Andrew. It was a disaster. Digital Gnosis did nothing but run. Andrew simply asked, "Can you tell me how I'm a fascist? Can you tell me how I'm a fascist now?" All right, that's great. Can you tell me how I'm a fascist now? Looks like you're not going to tell me. Okay, you're not going to tell me. That's all. That was the entire thing. No, I'll watch the debate tonight, the Mormon debate, but no, I don't think I'll call in. Unless somehow, like, I get a hold of like a 6-pack and it all goes down.
It should be clear that we do not want it to exist. We don't want troops on the ground, and we hope that maybe using the bunker buster bomb, destroying their capability, will make it where they'll want to not have a nuclear program.
What do you guys think about the United States potentially getting involved in the war with Israel and Iran?
Oh, I think it's a bad idea. World War III is going to start in the Middle East, and we're just going to get involved in World War III at this point.
Do you think if the United States does get into the war, it will cause a World War III?
Oh, absolutely. It puts us up against either the Russians or Israel. There's no choosing sides in this that doesn't negatively impact the American people.
And why do you think the United States is so involved with Israel?
Money. It's all money. It's all business. It's all oligarchy at this point.
And do you trust Donald Trump's judgment?
No, not at all.
Do you guys really think it's money? I actually don't think it's money, because there's a certain level of power where money's not the object anymore. So what is it? It's just power, right? So then what's informing power? Is it a worldview? Is it some sort of like false god? Do these people have a secret god that they don't talk about, or they do? I don't know. It's just hard to believe at every level it's always money. It's
their money.
Beer money, yeah. I could say, now that's
yeah,
bad.
there's some money for the beer. Please join the panel. We need someone who will fight the Mormon.
Well, Andrew's going to destroy the Mormon. Basically, Andrew's going to destroy the Mormon, and then they're going to do an open panel. And then everything that was said in the debate from Andrew's side will just be said again. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But beer money, sure. Yeah.
Not at all. He's not looking out.
Imagine he was like, why do you think Israel controls everything? What is it about? And he's like, beer money.
For us, he's looking out for the people that line his pocket. At the end of the day, that's it.
What would you like to see happen?
I don't think so. I don't think the pockets... I think that's very naive. I think that's like I would say there's like levels of power. It's like the most powerful people you could think of are like up here in this little sliver. And there's a section beneath. Like this section is just pure power and influence. Like to the level that you see the world as a Sims game and you want to control the world. Money is a joke. That's like me. Money is like chasing the shrimp platter around a wedding. It's like beneath them. You're like, what? Oh, you want money? That's so weird. That is so weird. And then there's like a lower section of power where it is money and influence. And then underneath that, it's just money so that they can get influence. But at the top, to say it's money, it's like, I just think that's super naive.
In here, should the United States go after Iran's nuclear weapon, or do you think they should just leave it into the hands of Israel?
Or I should say, Moini.
And I think we should be hands off. I'm not.
Are you guys finding a super seal like Sean Ryan? I mean, ortho cucks by you guys? I don't know what you mean by that, Duck. That's completely incoherent question. There's none of that makes sense, Duck. Are you guys finding a super seal like Sean Ryan? I mean, ortho cucks by you guys. What? Are ortho cucks finding a super seal? I have no idea what you're saying. Take your medicine. I usually don't say that, but for you, it's an exception. Take the pills.
I'm not saying Israel's going to do the right thing, but I don't think we should be the ones to do it. It's not our job.
And if Iran is saying death to America, death to Israel, should the United States get in?
That, to be fair, they were saying in that clip, they were saying no to printed flags. They don't like printed flags. They like fabric flags.
They're not coming over here. They're not killing us. Like, they're saying they can talk all they want, but they're not here. They're not on the ground in the United States, and they're not hurting us. So,
Slave by Truth. How you doing, dude? You okay? Haven't seen you in a bit. Are you okay? Your health okay? You need prayers? You need something?
why should we go there and hurt them because they threatened us?
And me personally, I'd be more nervous if the United States did get into the war because of all the people that did come across the border.
Absolutely.
There could be sleeper cells here.
Absolutely.
And if the United States did enter into the war, do you think we'd see some sleeper cells?
The same lady, listen, look, this Walker lady is trying to get interviewed and he's just ignoring.
Money is a byproduct of power.
Yeah. Yeah, Clicker. That's how I see it. It's like you have power and force and control, and then you can manipulate money. And, you know, if you can manipulate money, then you're not like you're not thinking like bottom line. It doesn't make sense.
Cause terrorist attacks here in the United States.
Well, I think that raises the chances of that for sure. It doesn't guarantee that it would happen, but more likely if we start pissing those people off. Yeah.
Would you be surprised if terrorist attacks started happening in big cities across America?
Not at all. I mean, we saw it in 9/11.
You should ask him what's in the bag.
I mean, like it's happened before, you know?
That's literally how World War I and II started, is all these alliances between all these countries. One spark sets off the whole powder keg, and suddenly the whole world's at war.
Now you have to back up your allies.
Now you have to back up your allies. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong thing to do. It's with everything else going on.
I think all wars should be fought in a virtual reality set, but it's for legitimate things. So, like, you basically sign it, and if you breach the contract, then the real war happens. So it's like, okay, we're going to fight a war. Get on your treadmill. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what it should be. You know what I mean? Get in your treadmill. Like, if every war, let me see. Let me see if I can find what I think war should look like real quick. Like that old lady, this should be war right here.
There it
goes. You know what I mean? You get a bunch of people they sign in, countries sign up. It's like the Olympics, but war. And then
do you mind if the world
if you lose,
I don't mind.
We get your oil reserves.
As a great cartoonist once said, even folks with half a brain know that's not how buildings fall.
That's true. That is true. That's not how buildings fall.
It's very precarious.
And really quick, if you guys are watching this video right now, make sure you guys are subscribed and give this video a like. And now let's keep going with these interviews.
I don't think your shoulders are small, my head's just big. I agree with that. It could be a combination of both. I'm not working out to get my head smaller, though. I am working out to get my shoulders wider. However, I haven't been to the gym in over a week. Shame. 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 It's a shame. It's a damn shame. Getting out on the shoulder game. Gonna lose out big. I got my own co-host making fun of me. Unbelievable. Who even started the shoulder meme? I think it was like years ago. Lazy, yeah, it's total lazy. It's lazy. I'm hot. It's hot outside. What is that terrible sculpture behind him, by the way? What is that? It's like a giant rock booger. This is what progressivism gets you, by the way. People are like, what? Why should Christians run the world? Because we'll make beautiful things. What the hell is that? What is this? It looks like, you know what it looks like? I have that ear cleaner. I'm obsessed with it. I go into my kid's ear and I dig out shit. It looks like a giant ear cleaner. This is what you get when atheists take over, squares and they start designing piazzas. Oh, what should we put in the middle? Whatever that is, who even pitches that? Who draws that out? Who secures the funding for that? Whatever that is right there. What is that? Is that a fake piece of Mars, probably? I bet it's a fake piece of Mars.
And you as a vet, would you be willing to enter back into war?
No.
What the hell?
No. Not a chance.
Is Ortho Chuds on later? No, it's only Chalk. It's only once a week on Thursdays. I probably should have went with Chuds. Thugs. Did you guys know that thugs is censored in certain comments and stuff? The word. I feel like that was it may have been a bad move to go with thugs instead of chuds. Damn it.
It's I already did my time.
Mm-hmm. Where did you serve in?
Afghanistan, Iraq.
How dangerous are these people over there in those parts of the world?
Yeah. I feel like he's about to jump off the top ropes.
Well, Iran are great people.
This guy should get into wrestling.
If you look at Iran in the 70s and the 80s, it was very much like any other country, first world country. But with the Ayatollah and with...
Who is that? David Letterman?
The extremists, taking away women's rights and education.
Oh, no. Women's rights. Oh, no. Oh, no. What's going to happen?
You can't be homosexual in those countries, things like that.
That's what you fought for? Are you really saying this out loud on a massive channel interview? This is what the hill you're dying on? These terrible regimes. I mean, you couldn't put your penis in a butthole. You know what I mean? So it's like, we had to go to war,
because
am I right?
iconography is good, true, and beautiful, that looks like a potato on the top of a rocket ship.
It's weird. That was a weird sculpture, if that's what it is. Listen to this guy's take. This is where Enlightenment values, classical liberalism, invaded what you call conservatism, and now this is what you defend.
Taking away women's rights and education. You can't be homosexual in those countries.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, I can't believe there's places where there's a consequence to that. I just, we gotta just bomb them, I mean, if they're gonna stop this, so what we had to do.
Things like that. They went backwards instead of forward.
Forward? How is that forward? How is that forward, dude? Well, let's move forward. Where? Toward that dude's butt. See, that's where Nick Shirley fails. He's young, though. Nick, this guy, does a good job, runs a good channel, gets the basics out. He could push back a little bit with some humor and be like, oh, so progressivism is... So forward is dude's butts, right? I just want to get that clear in the clip before I put it on the internet.
They damn themselves a little bit. The people are fine. It's their leadership that needs an adjustment.
And should the United States go after that new...
Duck says plan something. Dude, are you off your meds? Do you know how to use full sentences? Do you understand that I have no idea what the context of what your statements are?
Nuclear weapon that they...
$5. Oh, hold on.
As Ben Shapiro would say, I would die for your right to be a homosexual. Well, not me personally, but young Christian American men.
Pretty much. That's what it kind of ends up being. This is weird thing where patriotic people tend to be at least like culturally raised lowercase Christian. And they're like, fight for freedom and God and my nation and my gun. Shit, my truck. I don't care what you do, just don't take my shit. I'll kill for your stuff, though. I will kill for your butt. I will kill for the autonomy of your butt, boy. I'll even go to war. Shit, I'll sign up right now for you. It's this weird thing where it's like you get the conservative-ish people. Not based, but like modern conservative. And they go off and they get on airplanes and they drop down in parachutes and tanks and they die and they kill. And you're like, for what? And they're like, well, for you to, I will die for you to be a homosexual, son. I will die. That's what America is. America is based on the self-evident truth of poopy play.
They are apparently building.
1,000%. I will die for it. I will die for it. And I'm glad to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And don't forget the man who died, who gave that butt to me, and I finally stand for butts.
Yeah.
So you would support them going into the war?
Yeah, I would. It wouldn't be a war, so it's not a war.
So say they did enter into this war, how long would you think this would last? Do you think it'd be one missile, one bomb?
I will die for the pee-pee and the poo-poo. I will die for it. You don't mess with that. That's the one thing you try to touch my guns, you get the guns.
But my interpretation, but my freedom.
My freedom. You get in the way of my guns, you get my guns. You get in the way of my buns, you get the guns. Sons.
Bomb and it's over?
I think, well, it's never just one bomb. I think if you're looking at, it'd be a tiered.
Never just one bun.
Precision strike, so it'd happen in phases, but it wouldn't be something like Bush's, coin fight, the counterinsurgency fight with Iraq, Afghanistan for 20 plus years. It wouldn't be a continuation of that. I think Trump is.
We got an aristocrat in the chat, Fujiki. Welcome, Fujiki. Thank you for becoming an aristocrat.
Live up to his...
Keeping the Jortlandian oligarchy afloat. Defending itself from foreign invaders.
Word of it being just, hey, we're just going to...
Where is Jortlandia located? It's not even on the map. It's somewhere. It's not even by the equator somewhere.
Strike this and that's that. The next guy who...
Suddenly everyone's a military expert. Well, this guy, to be fair, he was in war, so he knows a little bit. But he just admitted the whole reason he went and fought is for gay people to maintain their gayness.
Comes in, can deal with whatever, whatever mess there is after that. I don't like the fact that we have to get involved in stuff like this, but when, you have a country like Iran who potentially, they're working diligently to try and get a bomb. That's scary. That should be scary.
I mean, how could they not have a bomb yet? It's
Unfortunately, our last few wars have been so pointless, people will justify the war any way possible, even if it means for the cheeks.
That's right, for the cheeks. I did it for the cheeks. Nicholasville, thank you for that. Appreciate that. It's so bizarre, though. Like, the history of war was always tied to terrestrial things, resources, and a people, like a way of life. Ultimately, it's ways of life, nations, the identity of nations and peoples clashing. Either one wants to take over the other one and destroy it, or one wants to preserve it and the other one's invading, so it's a defensive war. But when you look at it through the historical lens, there's an identity of peoples. Like there's a way of life, there's a language, there's a theology probably, and all of these things are bundled into, we are defending us, our people, our way of life, what we do, how, all this stuff. But as in the modern lens, it's wild to see, because America doesn't have any identity other than just pure liberty. That's the identity. It's like consumerism and freedom. That's like it. That's the identity. And it's just wild. It's like almost Simpson-esque to go to war. And like you go to war, let's say you go to war with Japan, who still has like an ancient identity intact. It hasn't been fully infiltrated and diluted with Western and liberal ideals. And it's like, I will go to war with you. We have ancient people. Ancient military. Like, their identity is so rich. And then their opponent comes, like, let's say this picked a war with America, and we're all like, hey, you're fighting for your Japanese heritage and culture and bloodlines? We're fighting for, wait, what is it for? Fight for liberty and buying stuff. We will fight you. We're fighting for West Hollywood.
For any American or anyone in the Western world.
Do you think if the United States enters into war with Iran, do you think that will lead to a World War III?
No.
There's no way that her name's not Cheryl. It's impossible.
Jimbob, how would you argue against a moral anti-realist? I talked to one yesterday who also said she was a divine command theorist. I was so confused.
Well, I mean, moral realism is like that moral actions, like actual reference in the world, events. Like you can point to them and be like, that's it. So in a sense, like I think Christianity would be a type of realism. I was always confused about that though, Steelborn, because we would argue morality needs to be grounded ultimately in an uncreated being, his very nature, not in facts or statements or just simple events in the world. But if an realist just reduces to relativism, that's how I would argue against anti-realism. Just calling it anti-realism is kind of just a way of making it more nuanced than it really is. You just ask them, is anything actually immoral? But if they say they're a divine command theorist, that's a little, yeah, you should be confused, because it also begs the question of like what real is. It's like it establishes like, well, are we talking about reality as purely events in the world or statements about the world? I'm not sure how she could take a divine command position and also argue against a type of realism in morality. I don't know, though. You shouldn't debate her, though. Disengage.
What do you think is going to happen with this situation that's going on?
Just like anything else, I honestly think everything will cool down.
Cheryl,
Cooler
get
heads
back
will
here,
prevail.
Cheryl.
We've been dealing with nuclear weapons since the end of World War II, and I don't think anybody is honestly going to be that stupid to pull a trigger like that.
Donald Trump said that there would be no wars if you...
I know. He's kind of a hypocrite. Sorry. You probably don't want this on film.
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry. I get wild after Mahjong. I get really... I mean, I had a... What was it? Nancy, did I have 2 mimosas? Oh, this never happened.
No, you're all good. No, you're all good. With Iran potentially having a nuclear weapon, does that worry you? And do you think that's something the United States should enter into a war for?
I still don't, but that's me personally. I feel like this has been going on for a while. We knew that it was coming, but...
Because there's videos of Netanyahu talking in the 1990s about Iran having this nuclear weapon.
I know,
but
so why now? I don't know. Maybe they know things we don't know. That's where we need to trust our leaders, but I don't. Sorry.
Do you think the United States should enter into war with Iran?
I think Ernest Goes to Camp is the best movie I've ever seen. Sorry, what was the question?
I think that they may have to provide a little bit of support to Israel to help them do what they need to do, but...
Why? Why should we do that?
Our history of entering into wars in that part of the world have not had positive outcomes in the past.
Did you see that? Yeah, I saw the chart. That was BB's chart was really funny. He was like, we're out here. And there's like a round bomb that's hilarious, like an old school Super Nintendo bomb. Honestly, it's like how, like, I'm still skeptical about nukes, but let's just grant they exist the way they are presented. How would it be the case that Iran doesn't have them by now? Like, really? What, 50 years of making sure a country that has its own capabilities and ways of doing things, we stop them from building something that most people should be able to build if they just have the resources? That's it?
Ty 4 streams, Mr. Funny Bigot Man.
Thank you for the streams. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Past, i.e. Afghanistan and Iraq.
Nukes exist, Jimbob.
And whose war do you think this is to fight, Israel's or the United States, or both?
I don't know if it's a war that anybody should fight. I mean, but Iran is a threat to all the Middle East, including the Arab countries, not just Israel. So I think somebody has to just keep them in control, in balance somehow.
And should the United States trust Israel, people like Netanyahu and the Mossad, when the information that we are getting is from Israel?
I'm mixed about the Israeli government. I am Jewish, but I do think they do have a very good Secret Service organization with the Mossad and good information.
They had Epstein on the roster. I mean, that's good.
And I think it's probably valid.
They reached out to Tim Pool recently. I think they might have him on the roster now. So, I mean, they have a really good outreach program. Mossad, really great
Dearest
outreach
Jotlandia, for those who do not know, the game of Mahjong is an ancient Asian tradition rooted in the man-boy love relations of the samurai.
Is that true, Justin? I don't play it, but now I'm not going to let my own kids play it.
And you as a Jew, do you feel like the Arab...
Ooh, that was just... Nick. Jeez, and you as a Jew...
countries like Iran, do you feel like they wish death upon you?
Some do. You know, it depends on how fundamentalist, the people we're talking about.
Would you be willing to fight in a war against Iran?
Yeah, of course. Americans are needed to do so why not?
What do you think about this ongoing conflict?
Wow, dude. Wow.
Like that's happening.
I'm not a fan of the war, honestly, but I feel like it's there for a reason, so...
I'm not a fan of the war, but I feel like it's there for a reason. Holy moly. Wait, what panel has this guy been on? I know I've seen this guy in the panel verse.
The war is there for a reason.
I believe so. They're not doing it for no reason, you know?
Mm-hmm. Does it worry you about Iran potentially receiving a nuclear weapon? Or they might even have it right now.
That's part of it, yeah. We'll see if that happens, I guess.
Do you trust Donald?
Does that guy have a spinner vape? They have vape pens that also act as the stress spinner.
Trump's judgment in this time?
We have to, as a president.
What do you want to see happen?
Honestly, I want WWE to go back when it was awesome. Honestly. I want cartoons like Ren and Stimpy again. If you're asking me an honest opinion, Ben and Jerry's clearly changed their recipe of the coffee Heath Bar Crunch. So
I don't want to see a nuke set off over here. Other than that, I mean, I'm just doing.
I mean, come on. If a nuke is really a nuke, it's like, what are you really afraid of? Come on.
You and me, you know?
So you'd be willing to go to war if they did have a nuclear weapon?
If they had to, I mean, if they didn't have a nuclear weapon and it needed to be done to the point where they didn't have enough people, and I'm an American, I like my country, so why not, you know?
Seems like a nice guy. He's saying what he knows. I feel like only 6 more questions until this guy says, like, I have my own demons. You know what I mean? He's a guy who's just like, at question 6, he just breaks and he gives his whole story. It's like, I've been through shit.
I'd go. I've served in the military. I'd put myself back in, so why not?
what would you guys like to see Donald Trump do?
Back off.
I'd like to see him make America great again. We're gonna...
I want to see him back off and help the people of the United States like he said he was going to. That's it. That's it. I just want someone that's fighting for us.
You know, you're seeing a lot of people shift on the internet. For instance, people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens are coming out against Donald Trump in these times of the war.
Is Candace Owens coming out?
Do you think you'll see more people step away from Donald Trump if he does go?
Oh, absolutely. We're starting.
After the interview, he stole some copper.
To see the cannibalism of this one faction. It's not Republicans versus Democrats. It's MAGA versus everybody.
Do you think MAGA will turn their back on Trump if he does enter into this war?
A big portion of it, yeah, I think so. He's already starting to see a lot of support. Every year since he started campaigning, we've seen a lot of support laws for him. It's just incremental.
But there's a massive amount of MAGA that's super Israel based, like super Zio MAGA, for sure.
At this point.
And if you guys got...
I'm not even sure, like, who is MAGA at this point? I actually don't know.
Drafted, would you guys go to war?
No, absolutely. I go to Canada. I would fight for this country. I signed up to do it before.
Your shoulders are smaller than mine, dude. You're operating maybe a drone at best. You're sitting next to me. Seriously.
I can't now because I'm injured, but Like that is what I wanted to do, but this isn't for our country. This isn't for our people. This doesn't help us.
We're at 38 of 50, y'all. Still got an hour or so. I appreciate the donations and funds. I am fully supported by you guys, the audience. I don't sell any beard cream or pills or anything like that. I just give you the show, and I do appreciate the support in return.
Why do you think the United States always gets involved in these foreign wars?
Makes us money. It makes us a lot of money.
Would you call Donald Trump George Trump after this?
Maybe.
Would you go to war if the United States entered into war with Iran?
Would you go to war? That guy's already has a war going on with himself. How many people are standing there with him? I mean, what are we looking at? What is happening?
Iran.
Would I go to war? Not gonna lie, bro. I don't really respect the U.S., bro.
Bro.
Kids are skateboarding off those shoulders cause they're great for cool tricks. That's
true.
about it.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
Because they ain't never done shit for me, you know? Why fight for somebody if no one's ever done anything for you, you know?
Beard cream.
I mean, he's got a point.
So probably not.
I agree with him on that point.
What should the United
I mean,
States do with this conflict? Should they enter into war with Iran?
Should they? Does it concern them? Because I haven't really been like watching the news and stuff.
dude's hair makes me want a churro.
So say Iran has a
I want udon suddenly.
nuclear weapon that could decimate the entire population of Israel, or the entire population of New York City, California, the United States. Should the United States go and try to decimate and destroy that bomb?
Yeah, I guess they should, because it could hurt millions of people, but if it has nothing to do with them, you know, because who's to say every other country has the same bomb, you know what I'm saying? Does that mean the United States has to take out every other country? You know what I'm saying? We don't know that. As far as we know, North Korea could have the same type of bomb or even stronger, you know what I'm saying? But who's to say it's our business just to go, you know, put our hands in water that shouldn't be put our hands with, you know?
So,
I mean, I don't know that phrase, though. Put our hands in water that...
Jimbob, stop
I know what
it.
you're saying.
We all know you are slinging the gear on the side.
What gear? I have no beard cream. I should. Like, if a beard company was smart, they would approach me and they'd say, hey, Jimbob, we want to sponsor you. You could make up your own beard commercials. You don't even have to read from our script. I might consider that for a beard. But I mean, that's about it.
So should the United States enter into war?
Well, is it war if you bomb a place that their military installations? It is war, but it's not troops on the ground war. But if Israel needs our help to...
That's a good question. for a newspaper guy who's dressed like a newspaper for some reason. Is it war? Is usury war? You know what I mean? Like can bankers do war without shooting people? I say yes. But we don't talk about that because we're obsessed with like shooting and guns and like Metal Gear Solid and awesome games on Xbox and PC that I like. But we don't think about war from the perspective of like monetary influence and all sorts of shit like this, sanctions and things that are way outside of our realm of influence. War is always like, oh look, there's scary things and explosions, and you're like, what? You're not going to convince at least me or most people who follow me that a war starts when you see an explosion. I mean, what do you think we're a bunch of idiots?
Eliminate the nuclear program. We should do it. That's up to the president.
Oh, John's talking about steroids? I don't do steroids.
And then Congress can say what they weigh. But you can't allow a country that already said they want to burn us and Israel to the ground so they destroy us to have a nuclear weapon. Because I don't see any way they wouldn't use it.
And should we trust
How would they use it, though? It's like, if you believe in all the nuke stuff, which has been around for so long, you also believe in the development of being able to counter it or defend from a nuke. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have all of these things be true.
Netanyahu, he's been saying that Iran's been building this nuclear weapon since 1990s. Should we trust Netanyahu?
I'm bored of this guy.